I'd like to call to order the agency funding special meeting Tuesday, October 7th, 2025. And please say the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can we have a roll call, please? Yes.
Supervisor Jones?
Here.
Trustee Morvan?
Here.
Trustee Maher?
Here.
Trustee Malik?
Here.
Trustee Lynch?
Here.
Administrator Rizzo?
Here.
Department Heads Maureen Dashnuski?
Here.
Richard Lyon?
Here.
Luzman Estes?
Here. All right. Is there any public participation? Did anybody decide? That doesn't look like it. Yeah, sure. Thanks.
Should be on.
No. Okay. All right. So the first one at 6 p.m. is Pickles Group. So do we have a... Oh. Sorry, I'm over there. Yes, please.
All right, good evening, everyone. My name is Cassie Horton. You're going to hear a little bit from me, and then you're also going to hear from Patrick Brennan with Pickles Group. So first and foremost, I just want to say thank you so much for your past support, and we're really excited to share some updates with you about our organization. So Pickles Group, we are a young and quickly growing nonprofit. We're founded by families from the North Shore, and our very specific mission is to provide free peer-to-peer support and resources to kids whose parents have cancer. And the reason that we exist is because a group of 3 families who are all from this community could not find sufficient support for their kids as they were facing their own cancer diagnoses. In one case, brain cancer. 2 dads were diagnosed with brain cancer. A mother was diagnosed with lung cancer right around the same time. Their kids were enrolled in elementary and middle school, and even though they were seeking care at prestigious hospitals like Northwestern and University of Chicago, there just were not resources to support their kids. So that's how we came to be. This is our 4th year in operation. We're young, we're growing really quickly. We've doubled our impact every year since we were founded, and we have our concentrated in-person support here in the North Shore. We meet at Winnetka Community House as our kind of home base. But we also have a virtual program that is already scaled to serve families across the country. And so we're on track to serve and enroll 800 kids this year alone. In terms of our community and our local program here in the North Shore, we're serving about 120 kids this year, 20 of whom are from the township specifically, and that is double the number of township youth that we're serving for our Chicago program over last year, and we hope to be able to continue that growth next year. Our goal is to serve 30 township youth next year. I'm excited to just share a couple brief updates, and then I'm going to hand it over to Patrick to tell you a little bit more. So a couple things that we're really excited about this year, and it just is a testament to the way that we're both growing enrollment-wise, but we're also really deepening our support for the kids that we serve. We have a 5-week program called Connect Over Cancer. It is evidence-based, it's rigorous, it is group support for kids that gives them the space to learn about cancer and ask questions, develop coping skills, and also establish this peer connection. Our kids often tell us they've never met anybody else who's going through this. It can feel extremely isolating. So that 5-week program has been very successful. Last year we piloted 2 new programs, actually kind of 3 things that we just opened up this fall for open enrollment, and we doubled enrollment through opening these new programs. The new programs are called Pickles Jars, and they are ongoing monthly support. Same groups, same kids, all year long, all through the school year. It really tends to be for kids who are facing appearance advanced stage cancer, complex cancer. It may be that the cancer is curable, but we're looking at a year, 2 years of treatment, maybe a mastectomy. It's taking a long time to get to that point where you're feeling like you're cancer-free. Also, the majority of those families, cancer is not curable for that parent. And we've got parents living with lung cancer for 10 years. We've got parents living with, colon cancer for 5 years. And so those families want a place to be every month. They want ongoing support for their kids. So we rolled out that monthly support this year. We also rolled out ongoing monthly support for kids who have lost a parent to cancer, bereavement support through that Pickles Jars monthly model. And we did that. At first we didn't do bereavement support because there are great bereavement organizations to refer to. What we've seen is that we build so much trust with families. They want to stay with us, especially in that most challenging moment of loss. So that program is really successful. Pickles Jars is enrolling 120 new kids this fall, and we hope it will continue to grow. And the other thing that is new this fall that we've been incubating for the last year is our peer leaders program. So you're going to hear from Patrick, who is one of our peer leaders. We have kids who've been with the program for 3 years, 4 years. We've got kids who have gone off to college, kids who are in high school now, and they're really motivated to support younger and new kids who are joining the program. So we are training our older youth. They are helping to facilitate the groups in kind of a mentoring role, and that's just really improving the quality of the program. So I'm going to turn it over to Patrick and let him speak really briefly about his experience with Pickles Group, how he's involved, and before I do that, I just want to thank you again for your support, and we hope we can continue to partner to serve township youth as we double the number of youth enrolled from the township this year. So Patrick, I'll turn it over to you.
Hi, I'm Patrick Brennan. I'm a sophomore down in Northridge, down the block. I've been part of Pickles for 4 years. I was originally an attendee, but now I get to be a peer leader, which basically I help the next generation of Pickles kids find comfort, support, and the same treatment I was given when I came. Pickles has been amazing for me and my family. My father passed away 2 years ago, and Pickles has really been there for us, before and after. I have 4 younger siblings who all attend Pickles, and it has been, I think, one of the best decisions we have made when it comes to dealing with our father's passing. And I want to thank you guys for your support, and thank you guys for listening to us.
All right, so I'm very happy to answer any questions you have. If you have a question for Patrick too, I think he'd probably be willing to answer. I'm volunteering him, but I'm just grateful for the support, and we're here to answer questions as you make your funding decision.
So how do families find out about, specifically township families, how would you find out that this program's out there?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're doing a couple things. The primary way that we seek referrals is through hospital partnerships, because the hospital, the nurses, the social workers in particular, know that there are kids at home and they're really spending a lot of time with the families. So our primary partner is Lutheran General within the township, and our Chief Clinical Officer, Kelsey Mora, she's really the brains behind the program design. She's a therapist and a child life specialist who worked at Lutheran. For us, that's been the strongest partnership within the township. We also attend tons of different, community health fairs, community events. And we also know families really travel a lot for treatment as they're looking for the right specialist. So we have strong partnerships with Northwestern, with it's now called Endeavor, the Kellogg Health Center, University of Chicago, Loyola, and we'll even end up recruiting folks who live in the township, but they're traveling for care as well. But it's really through the hospital partnerships. We're also working on schools, but that's been the fastest way for us to get the information directly to families. Yeah.
Anybody else? Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
The next, lifespan. Very urgent.
Hi there, I'm Amy Fox. I'm the Executive Director Director of Lifespan. I'm happy to be here this evening. Maine Township has been a long partner of Lifespan, and I appreciate the opportunity to be here this evening and seek your support for next year as well. So I think most of you know that Lifespan is a comprehensive domestic and sexual violence organization that we were established in Des Plaines in 1978, and we've had a constant presence there ever since. We provide what we like to call a integrative service model, where we provide 3 core direct services. So we assist survivors with counseling, so individual, group, for survivors and their children. We also support survivors with criminal court advocacy. So we have advocates who work out of the Rolling Meadows and the Skokie courthouses, assisting survivors really navigate the criminal court process. I don't know if you've ever had to go to criminal court, but it runs like a machine. You know, they try to be very efficient, but the survivor is really just deemed a witness. And so our advocates help them navigate that process and have a voice throughout that process. We also provide legal representation. So we assist survivors in family law, so that's divorces, orders of protection, civil no contact orders, parentage. I said divorce, right? And then we also do immigration. So we assist survivors to gain status, largely based upon remedies available to survivors, like through the Victims of Crime Act and Violence Against Women Act. We are the only domestic violence organization in the state that provides legal representation on staff, and we're one of few in the country. And so really, the reason why we did those 3 direct services is that we found that having those combined in one organization, well, one, it really limits the amount of referrals you have to do to survivors, which decreases barriers as they access other services. But really, it was with the intent of assisting and empowering survivors to have long-term safety, right? So that they have all the tools that they need in order to move to safety with their children. And what we sort of found is that when our staff work together collaboratively, not only does it help the survivor, but it actually really helps our staff. When all of your clients are survivors of trauma, it really can take a toll. And so when they can rely on each other and support each other as they're supporting the survivor, it really has that value as well. See, in this last year, we have had a couple exciting newer initiatives. One, I don't know if we spoke about it last year, but our counseling program has increasingly been providing services through DCFS referrals when survivors are engaged in that process, because DCFS may become involved in the family, not because our client or the survivor is a perpetrator of violence, but because there was violence in the home. And then DCFS mandates that they go to services. And so we've really developed a curriculum to help them throughout that process. And more importantly, even though it's mandated, to make it beneficial and so that they actually have an outcome as opposed to just checking a box. So it's really individualized as well as group. This past year, the year prior, we did what we called survivor leadership working groups, where we did a number of focus groups with survivors and our former clients and current clients to really find out, one, if you're meeting their needs, but also how they would like to have more of a voice at Lifespan, so that they can sort of stay with Lifespan and support other survivors after they have maybe ended services. And we had such sort of engagement by survivors that we actually hired someone to coordinate that project. And so from that, some exciting things have happened. The survivors had said that they wanted to create opportunities for community so that they could be in a social group with other survivors, but it not really be like group counseling, right? That they can sort of take away the stigma, but also the isolationism of violence. And so we created, once a month, we have something called Cafecitos, where we just have open space for survivors to come with their kids, and they can really, they lead in themselves, they play games, or we just chit chat, or have coffee, and it's been really well received. So that's sort of an unintended, like we hadn't really thought of that. So if we hadn't used the survivor's voice to learn that, then I don't know if we would have come up on our own. They've also started their own newsletter that they're sending out to current existing clients. One other thing we did this past year, due to the increase of immigration issues, especially for our clients, we've done a number of Know Your Rights initiatives. But I mean, our clients overall are taking many more hours of service than they ever have, especially our immigrant clients. There's increased anxiety, but also given the fact that we do legal services, they also are not only doing Know Your Rights, but we have done a number of powers of attorney as well as guardianship clinics for our clients, all of our clients, but especially our immigrant clients, so that they can really, part of their safety planning is that they can set up and establish certain provisions should they be detained or deported, so that their children and their property is safeguarded. So we're busy. Does anybody have any questions?
Does your chief legal strategist, does he actually represent some of your clients in court, or is he more like giving legal advice to the organization?
Kevin does it all. Kevin does it all. So he's on staff. His main job is, a couple years ago we bifurcated the legal director role because what we found was that when legal director, they had all of their time was being spent on case management and not spending a lot of time on supervision of the employee and the person and programmatic issues. So our chief litigation strategist, it's his job to supervise the litigation aspects of the family law department, and he also has his own cases.
Great, thanks.
And you know, over half of your support comes from state and federal sources. How is that looking nowadays?
Well, about 27% of our funding comes from federal funding. We're the direct recipient of one award, so I drew down all the funds that we could before October 1st. If that income stream doesn't come in, we have enough in reserves to carry us for quite some time. The other are pass-through grants through the Illinois Coalition Against Domestic Violence and the Illinois Criminal Justice Information Authority, and they have assured us they're able to draw down their funds in advance, so they have some pots. So for the time being, we're fine, where they're still paying their vouchers. We will monitor it. State funding stable, great. Yay, Illinois.
Any other questions? Comments? Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Live and Family Service and Mental Health Center.
Good evening, thank you for having me. I'm Jennifer Hamilton, I'm the CEO at Live and Family Service and Mental Health Center. It's a wonderful place to work, it's my 26th year of being there. So just a little refresher about us, we provide mental health services and also addiction treatment. Our offices are in Franklin Park and the Addiction Treatment Center is in Hoffman Estates. That's called the SHARE program. We also provide a number of social services that's largely across our senior service departments and our food pantry as well. So a few updates just about what's been going on with us. One important program that we've been able to add this year was our community support team that is specifically for our clients who are often reaching out to us in crisis. We have people who utilize our crisis services very often, and we are there to provide those services to them, but we also know that that's not the most sustainable model for a satisfactory life for our clients. So we're trying to help those people in their real lives, in the community, to increase their life satisfaction, to get what they need, so they might have a reduced reliance on our crisis services. That's done in conjunction with Cook County Health, and that's going very well. So that service, of course, is available to all Maine Township residents in need. The other change that we're very happy to report is that our detox program at Share and Hoffman Estates just reopened, and that was yesterday. It was supposed to be in September. We did have some trouble finding 24/7 nursing. So it opened yesterday, we had a ribbon cutting, and that's going to provide a much more seamless experience for anyone seeking that inpatient addiction treatment, because they're going to be able to go to detox, spend there usually 3 to 5 days there, sometimes 2 days. And then if they like, they can stay in the same facility and continue their rehab where they're already a little bit familiar with the rules and the staff, and it's going to be a lot less stressful in a very stressful situation. I did make a change also in our finance department. I went from a model where we had one controller really handling all of our financial operations. And we've grown, over the years, so it really wasn't sustainable anymore. So I'm now contracting with an off-site group that's handling all of our financial operations, and that's going very well. We do have an advanced practice nurse, a psychiatric mental health advanced practice nurse practitioner that does see all of our clients at our sites. And that has been going very well. We're now interviewing to hire an additional advanced practice nurse to see additional patients to meet demand. We just started those interviews today. And I just want to talk briefly about the federal funding losses that we might be a little bit worried about and planning for. So we have several state grants that we run our programs with. Part of the funding is federal. We receive about $700,000 across 3 different grants in federal funding. And the projected losses for the people who might lose Medicaid are higher. That would hit us harder. That's about $1.3 million right now. However, our staff do work very, very hard with our clients to help them, let them know to check out their mail, look at those notices, because really we're going to be able to help most people by catching those notices about their Medicaid and then helping them respond and sending the documentation they need so they can continue that and meet whatever work requirements might be required. So we do have some plans to mitigate those losses. We certainly work with local townships, including yourselves, and different grants, foundations that we're looking into to help us supplement that. Those were all of my updates. If there's any questions, I'd love to take them.
I have a question. So, Maine Township Recovery Connection is a robust part of our recovery community. Our director often helps people with drug and alcohol addiction get into treatment. Is there like a designated person or senior staff person that could aid that? Like just someone where we have, I think what we're kind of looking for is maybe a designated contact for our Recovery Connection program to help people get into the SHARE program and help get an evaluation.
Yes, thank you. We would love to do that. Is that Marty who's running that? So yes, we know Marty. It's probably been a couple years since we talked with him, but I can provide you with the contact information actually for our intake coordinator at SHARE, and that would be the best person to reach out to.
Oh, right.
It would really get the ball moving. Would you like me to tell you that now, or just
if you have it, that would be great.
Sure. Her name is Jacqueline. Write it down because it's a long last name.
Okay.
So I can say it correctly. Okay. So it's going to be J. Glamkowski is her last name. GLAMKOWSKI@LeidenFamilyService.org. I can get you her phone number too, I just don't have it with me right now, but she said it's fine for people to call for important intake calls.
Right, thank you.
Yeah, we like to make that as easy as possible. I know it can be hard to get into treatment, and then if you have to leave a message, wait for someone to call you back, things get lost in the shuffle.
Thank you.
I have a question. We have a client here in Maine Township that has a mental crisis. Can we call you and do you provide transportation for this client or how we can handle it?
Thank you. Yeah, you could certainly call us if you had someone that a Maine Township resident that needed treatment. What we typically do is we would help them set up transportation through their insurance. Most of the Medicaid managed care plans do provide transportation, but you just have to call 3 days in advance and set it up. So we would help them do that. If it was something that was more urgent or crisis, we do have an Uber Health account, and we could send an Uber for them to bring them in. And that could be for our therapy services and outpatient, our living room program, and also our crisis services.
Is any charge for those clients that live in Maine Township?
Is there any charge for them, you said?
Yeah.
We do have a sliding fee scale, so if someone did not have insurance, we would assess their income on our sliding fee scale. The nominal fee is $5, and it goes up from there, so they would qualify for that. Of course, if there was any additional Maine Township clients that needed service, and if we were out of money, due to our relationship, we would of course be able to see those clients at no charge to them because of the funding that you provide us.
I just had a question about the funding amount.
Yes.
It's a little higher increase than usual, about $37,000. So can you kind of walk us through how you arrived at that exact figure and why there's more of an ask this year than previous year?
Yes, thank you. I think what I did this year is I did a more detailed analysis of the finances, and I have a more correct number here. So I was looking at the invoices that we provide monthly to the township, and on there it also notes the number of unbillable hours. I had not noticed that last year. So what I did was I calculated the number of unbillable hours by our hourly rate, which is $110. So the 520 times the 110, so that's $57,200. And then also the part that Medicaid does not cover is about 20% of the total cost of services. The total cost of services is right there at about $252,000. So the 20% of that was the $50,502, which brings us to the $107,000.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
We have refreshments back there, so anybody's welcome to help yourself if you like. All right, advocate and general older adult services.
Okay, good evening. Thank you for having us again this year. My name is Mindy. I'm the manager of Older Adult Services and Senior Advocate. I oversee all the senior programs for Lutheran General Hospital, and I've been there for 24 and a half years. This is my colleague Lina. She's one of the coordinators there. She oversees 3 of the programs, one of which we're going to talk to you about in a little bit. But the most important thing that I want to share, that has something beautiful written, is that when I look at all our programs that we have, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I always, every year, I have my speech and I bring it and I look at the years. And when I looked at it, I'm like, Lina, home delivered meals, we've been doing that program for 54 years. So it's the longest running program. News to me after 25 years being there, I was kind of shocked. I knew it was long running, but not 54 years. So we've had that program running for 54, followed by our medical model adult daycare, just had its 45th anniversary this year, and then they go on from there. The news program, which I can't believe it, because Lynn and I were the 2 that kind of started, initiated it, is on its 13th year, which is called Expressions, a program for people with early memory loss. So the years are amazing to see, but Lynn is going to talk to you a little bit about home delivered meals, why we're here, what's the program, and give you a nice little heartfelt story about it.
Hello everyone, and thank you for the opportunity to speak with you tonight. As Mindy mentioned, my name is Lina and I coordinate the Home Delivered Meals program for Older Adult Services. And it's a role that continues to fill me with great pride for so many different reasons. This meal program promises that no older adult or adult with disability will be forgotten, be left hungry or isolated. And we take this commitment to the Maine Township community very seriously. We're here tonight not only to thank you for past support, which has made an immeasurable difference, but also to ask for the continued investment in this vital program. Your funding not only helps us fight hunger and malnutrition, it helps us combat social isolation, and it also helps us honor the humanity of each person that we serve. Thanks to your past financial support, we've been able to deliver nutritious meals directly to the doorsteps of those who need it the most. But what we deliver goes far beyond just food. We deliver compassion, we deliver connection, and we deliver hope. And I've seen firsthand how a warm meal and a friendly knock at the door can truly brighten someone's day. In fact, for many of our clients, our volunteer drivers might be the only person that they see all day or even all week. That kind of simple interaction, just a few minutes even at the door, can make such a difference. It can reduce feelings of loneliness, prevent depression, even save lives. Programs like ours reduce hospitalizations, improve health outcomes, and help people remain safely in their homes, living independently for longer. So in that way, we're truly helping community members age in place. I'd like to share a few specific experiences that exemplify what this program really means. Recently, one of our volunteer drivers arrived at a home and a meal recipient had fallen and was having trouble standing up. Thanks to their timely visit and their concern, emergency contacts were called and the individual received the care that they needed. On a different occasion, a volunteer noticed that a meal recipient, a woman who has early memory loss, wasn't answering the door. Instead of simply leaving the meal, the volunteer took the extra step to communicate with neighbors and to communicate with me, to express her concern and try to locate this individual, who luckily was later found safe at a doctor's appointment. And the impact goes even deeper. One of our participants recently shared that these meals have transformed not only her health, but her quality of life. She told me that before enrolling in the program that she often skipped meals or would rely more on processed food. And now with regular access to balanced nutrition, she has more energy, she feels stronger, and she's more connected to her family, friends, and the community. Another client, a wife caring for her husband with a terminal diagnosis of pulmonary fibrosis, told us that having meals delivered has lifted a tremendous burden. With so much of her energy focused on caregiving, she understandably feels overwhelmed. And she said it's one less thing to worry about to have these meals delivered, and she can spend more meaningful time with her husband instead of standing in the kitchen preparing food. And that's the kind of relief that your support makes possible. Your continued funding allows Advocate Older Adult Services to mindfully respond to the evolving needs of the Maine Township aging community. Some of these dollars help cover meals for older adults and adults with disabilities who cannot afford the $6 fee. So we ensure that no one is turned away due to financial hardship. Funding also supports the assembly and distribution of emergency food bags during the challenging winter weather when regular deliveries may be disrupted. And looking ahead, we plan to invest in new insulated delivery bags to maintain food safety and food quality throughout the journey to each doorstep. I'd like to add several of our meal recipients have been teachers and nurses, police officers, as well as veterans who've bravely fought for our country, and now they're retired, facing aging issues, disability, economic challenges. These individuals spent their lives serving others, and in their time of need, deserve to be taken care of with the same dignity and thoughtfulness. I truly believe that how we care for the most vulnerable individuals reflects the heart of this community. And I know that with your partnership and collaboration, we can continue to show up in each moment, meal after meal, with respect, support, and nourishment. Thank you so much for believing in the importance of the Home Delivered Meals program and helping to improve the lives of older adults and adults with disabilities in the Maine Township community. It really means so much. Thank you.
Do you have any comments or questions? How do people find out about this program? Like, how would someone learn about this, or how would they go about like registering for this?
So the hospital is the biggest supporter. They help send people when they're discharged to us. We have special meal programs set up for people who are like dialysis. There's the people who are on, what is the chemo, some type of a treatment they need, a neutropenic meal, because there's a lot of meal programs out there, but this is really catered to medical needs specifically. But the hospital, social workers, discharge planners, Maine Township, Marie can send us somebody here and there. And word of mouth is the biggest thing. We have all our other senior programs as well. So when we go out and do a fair, it's not just, hey, I'm here for home delivered meals. Here's a brochure. We have our one-page laundry list, which lists all our 9 programs, and that's like the key to spreading it out, you know, so everybody can learn about it. Hopefully we'll get some young spring chickens in here to work that are younger than myself that are on like social media. That's like the biggest thing right now. But to be honest with you, the biggest hurdle we have is drivers. So there's really no staff. Lynette and I, our accounting guy sometimes takes, we rely on our master level students that we supervise, who actually take the meals and deliver them in the house. And then we have a whole group of volunteers. So if you say, hey, I have 15 people, I'm gonna say, hold on, I gotta get drivers to take those meals. That's the hurdle that we have. I have staff at Lutheran that take their lunch break, come and deliver the meals. So tell Marie, let's go, start delivering. So that's, word of mouth to answer your question. Don't send me too many people, I have to have drivers too.
I heard there have been some cuts to Meals on Wheels funding at the federal level. Is that affecting your federal funding too?
So home delivered meals,
Increase referrals?
This program for home delivered meals is strictly private pay and on a sliding fee scale. We're not getting any federal, any Medicaid, any Medicare money for this program. It's always been strictly a private pay sliding fee scale. No one's turned away. Other programs are a little bit different, but this one, it runs like that.
It says you get $6,000 in federal funding. What is that for then?
Well, the 6,000 is the Maine Township grant, and then possibly adult daycare. I'd have to read it and see it exactly.
Well, it says federal USDA CAC.
So that's the Child and Adult Care Food Program. That's the state program that's in the schools and everything. That is specifically for the adult daycare, not for home delivered meals.
Not for home delivered meals.
Correct.
All right.
Correct.
Thank you.
Question, paragraph 27 says Niles Township, 0, but they gave it one lump sum. Is that the traditional with Niles Township? In the past, have they given you guys money too or no?
Niles Township in the past has. The grant team at the hospital has changed a lot of what we can receive and the amount that we need to receive and what they're willing to work for, unfortunately. So that's not one that we're able to go after again this year. There's another small little community thing in Park Ridge that was also supporting us, but under a certain dollar amount. The hospital doesn't want us to go after it at this time.
So maybe in the future.
Bigger fish to fry, yes, in the future. I mean, trust me, it's on my list. I know when that one's due.
That's a hospital that benefits, Niles as well. Thanks.
Anything else? Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Children's Advocacy Center of North and Northwest Cook County.
Hi there, my name is Luna. I'm here on behalf of the CAC. We call it that for short because obviously that's a bit of a mouthful. I believe you might already know who we are. We've been funded by Maine Township for, I don't know the exact number of years, but it's been quite a while. You've been a very proud partner with us, and we're excited to hopefully continue that partnership going forward. We've been around for just over 36 years now, providing, basically we've been empowering children who have gone through abuse and violence, providing them with a space to heal, move forward, while also providing our law enforcement with the important information to ensure that they can go forward with case management and stuff like that. That's our primary program, which is going to be our forensic and advocacy services. Those provide forensic interviews provided by one of our forensic interviewers. They're specialized. They provide a neutral space for the children to release, or not release, elicit what they have experienced, so that they can be live fed over to a multidisciplinary team of law enforcement, DCFS, healthcare workers, whoever's needed for that case usually comes in. They view a live feed and they can move forward with whatever they can move forward with at that point. Additionally, on top of that, we offer advocacy on our standpoint. So it's family advocates. They're our primary source of allowing the families, not just the child who's being interviewed, but the families the opportunity to get the resources they need if they don't have them. This could be anything from crisis intervention, case management. We also provide psychoeducation, referrals out to various different organizations all around the Northwest and North and Northwest area, to many of the municipalities around here. And then additionally, we also have an in-house therapy program that's called our mental health services. That we have a team of eight trauma therapists. I believe 3 to 4 of which are bilingual. So we provide services, all of which are free, by the way. So we provide free services for like anyone who comes, like who gets referred to us. Most of our stuff comes from referrals. Whenever it comes to our mental health program, it's a little different. We sometimes get referrals, sometimes we get reached out to by various organizations. We also have this thing called the Safe from the Start, which is another program that we provide. The funding that I'm requesting from Maine Township is only going to be for the first two programs. Safe from the Start is currently funded mostly by CEJA. So we got that one mostly covered. That one provides services for specifically children 0 to 5. As that's a very different kind of mental health services that you would be able to provide to those children. So with all that said, we've been providing services to children and their families and their non-offending family members for over 36 years, with about 1,800 people served every year, with about 160 forensic interviews, with 300 I believe last year it was 336 hours of forensic interviews, so that sometimes they go longer, sometimes they're nice and short. It really depends on the case. I think that's all I've got. Any questions I can offer?
Could you repeat which two programs it's going to?
So it's going to the Forensic and Advocacy Services program, which provides the forensic interviews, and then it's also going to it's going to be split with the mental health services program.
Thank you.
So generally, how are people referred to the organization?
So the multidisciplinary team is usually the primary source of referrals. It's usually from law enforcement, sometimes from DCFS, and they usually work hand in hand. So that's, I would say, 95% of the time it's going to be coming from that team, and we get quite a few throughout the years. Only other sometimes referrals we get from our mental health services program. The Safe from the Start program has a coalition of various organizations that sometimes refer out to us if they can't handle a case or they need additional assistance, particularly for therapy. But all the forensic stuff that comes in directly from our DCFS and law enforcement.
Did you say all services are free?
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Do you guys help, to the clients to apply, for example, for disability, for public aid, any, state program?
So we don't take, well, first about half of that, we don't take any sort of insurance at all. We don't even take information on insurance currently. We might be adjusting that in the future, but right now we don't do any Medicaid or anything like that. Since it is all free, most of our, we just get all the funding we can from state and local, a little bit of federal, but not much federal. And then as far as services we do provide access to those services so that they might be able to get help from Medicaid and various organizations like that. Our family advocates are very adamant about just helping them however they can, and that could mean anything walking them through whatever process they need, including translation services as well, and that's a large portion of what we do too. I hope that answers the question.
Your counselors are bilingual in what languages?
Spanish and English, those are the primary that we see. And then additionally, if we do need more translation, we use this app called the Voice app that we pay for, and it gets someone, like I said, an actual person live that can speak whatever language is needed. But primary, I don't know the exact percentage off the top of my head, but it's a large portion of the population we serve is Spanish speaking.
Anything else? All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Okay. Orchard Village, please.
Good evening. Excuse me, a bit of a cough, throat, finger in there. I'm Joseph Pike. I'm the Vice President of Development for Orchard Village. Orchard Village is a social service agency. We serve over 300 people with developmental disability. We have 12 homes throughout the Niles, Skokie, Park Ridge, Wilmette, Morton Grove, area. And we provide comprehensive day program services. We have 3 day programs. We have one called Discover, which is for people who are interested in finding employment. We have another one called Innovations, which is more of a program where they're interested in just volunteering, but they don't have employment as their final goal. Then we're starting a new program for senior citizens. Over 50% of our residents are over the age of 50 at this point. And we serve people all the way from children who are in their teens, all the way to adults who are 80. Our oldest resident is 89 at this point. But thank you again last year for your support of our dietary program, My25. Thanks to your grant of $2,500, Orchard Village residents who live in Maine Township have been able to reach new weight and fitness goals using the My25 program. As a result, they are healthier and eating much more nutritious meals. I'm here tonight to ask you to continue supporting the health of Maine Township residents by investing in preventive dental care. For a little more than $86 per township resident that we serve, Maine Township resident that we serve, you can greatly improve the smiles and health of the individuals with intellectual disabilities that we serve. Poor dental hygiene has been associated with heart disease, dementia, and even death from choking. According to the National Institutes of Health, 80% of adults with developmental disabilities have gum disease, and 32% have untreated tooth decay. Not to mention, an unattractive smile can have a large social and psychological impacts. It can lead to a lack of self-esteem, social isolation, and less speaking, and even fewer job opportunities. As you may know, most of the people we serve receive Medicaid, and Medicaid does not cover the cost of dental checkups or ongoing dental maintenance. It will only cover the cost of emergency dentistry and tooth removal or new dentures. To address this health issue, Orchard Village will use the requested funding to provide Maine Township residents we serve with the tools and treatment needed to help prevent tooth decay and gum disease. We will use the requested grant to purchase electric toothbrushes, water picks, and provide 2 dental checkups within a grant cycle. So 2 in a year. That's what we hope. It depends on what the dentist we can get and what they charge. And some of our clients will require anesthesia to be put out, to be worked on. You may be asking, why don't we just get regular toothbrushes, and why do we need water picks? Those are really good questions. I had the same questions when staff approached me with this one. The answer is that people with intellectual and physical disabilities, it makes it difficult for them to have manual dexterity and use mechanical brushes. So they don't do a good job cleaning your teeth with just a regular toothbrush. The American Dental Association confirms that water picks are particularly beneficial for individuals with limited dexterity. And research published by the American Journal of Dentistry shows that electric toothbrushes remove 20% more plaque than manual toothbrushes and are particularly effective for individuals with limited dexterity and coordination. These tools provide superior dental cleaning with less physical ability for individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities. In addition to the daily brushing and using the water picks, where the Maine Township residents we serve will be offered regular dental checkups. We will coordinate with dentists who know how to do sedated dentistry. And we have worked with some of these dentists in the past, and some of them even offer us a discount because we know we're a charity and we're working with a very special population. By funding this request for $4,480, you literally will be brightening and you will be bringing brighter and healthier smiles to Maine Township residents we serve. Any questions? Thank you.
Actually, I have a question.
I'm sorry?
I have a question.
Yes.
Would you please speak to the microphone? I have a question.
Yes.
Thank you. Your organization is a non-profit organization, is that correct?
No, we don't provide any dentistry at this point.
No, my question is, your organization is non-profit, so it's kind of like a charity organization, is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, we're a charity organization. We're a 501c3. Currently, most of our funding comes through Social Security benefits for their clients, and they do get SNAP benefits. And so we're all kind of on pins and needles what's going to happen with SSI and SNAP. But hopefully things will continue to be funded as we are in this current government shutdown.
So if your organization is a charity organization, why you guys request social security cards in order for people receive benefits from you or service?
The clients get Social Security, they apply for it, and that's mostly the residents that have the Social Security benefit. But it's a big part of our budget. It's about 86% of our budget. Fundraising currently is 2% of what we bring in, the rest of it, 2%, and then 10% is the administrative cost. So we're very low overhead. Most of our, 87% of our funding basically goes to fund program services for the clients. And residential is a big part of that. So people with developmental disabilities get SSI as Social Security as one of the benefits of their disability.
If someone go to your organization and have no social security card, meaning if someone have no legal status here in USA, do you deny service to this person or to the family?
No, we wouldn't deny services. We might find it difficult to find funding to house them. Most people, we work a lot with the majority of the largest program we have is home services, and we would provide home services to people through our charity portion of it they couldn't pay. And we also do provide private pay. There are some people who live with their parents or family members and they can pay privately.
I have to say, in all the years I've been doing this, the first time someone's asked for funding for dental care, and it makes perfect sense. I mean, it's really, yeah.
It's amazing.
It's not something you generally think of, but
Yeah.
it makes sense.
I was so surprised that Medicaid doesn't cover it. They will actually cover full removal of all the teeth and new dentures rather than preventive maintenance. Yeah, it's kind of shocking.
A water pick having it too. So my dentist tells me all the time, water pick is much more.
Oh yeah, it's much more effective than electric toothbrush and water pick, yeah, definitely.
Nobody knows about it until recently, right? Until very recently.
Yeah. And it's easier for the people to use when they can't really do the manuals back and forth. But some of the tools actually have timers on them that tell them how long they can brush on each side and stuff. So it's good. It's a good tool.
Any other questions or comments?
Thank you.
Thank you so much. The harbor.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Melody Rose. I'm the Executive Director at the Harbor. Pleased to be before you for our, I think it's my 5th time before you as Executive Director. And I especially appreciate the long-standing relationship of the past 40 years with Maine Township. This is where we've called ours home base. Our offices are located in Park Ridge, and all of our supplemental housing is in the surrounding areas. And Park Ridge and Maine Township have been incredibly supportive of our work, providing emergency and transitional housing services to young people ages 12 to 23. This is something that the Harbor has done for over 50 years, but out in Des Plaines was the first time we were able to secure a physical shelter location of our own in 1981. So that's when we moved out this direction and have been building out ever since. And in the past year, we invested nearly $160,000 in housing resources for Maine Township residents. And that is in direct cost only. That doesn't include the extensive outreach that we do, as well as tremendous effort into raising awareness and making sure community members know resources like this exist. Because a lot of the conversations around housing center in adult housing, and our young people need resources now more than ever. And we appreciate especially the local and state resources that we have, because we have had a variety of levels of federal funding in the past, and there's a lot of insecurity about where that may go in the future. For the time being, we only have one federal grant as part of a 3-year cycle. So theoretically, that's what we've been informed since it was an existing contract from the past year. It's something that we will continue to operate and maximally as intended. and something that we are compromising and making sure that young people know that we are a safe space for them, and that we will continue to offer the 24/7 emergency shelter, as well as congregate living to youth who were unhoused, as well as youth who aged out of foster care. This is a tremendous issue as housing becomes an even further insecure area, and our goal is to promote long-term stability for our young people, whether that's them returning to their home communities in order to rebuild with their direct families, or if it means that they're going into one of our transitional programs for up to 24 months, where they're learning life skills, money management, and most importantly for youth who come into our care, reestablishing the value of therapy. That's been something we put a lot of effort to, and some of you may not know about me as I'm a therapist by trade, so this wasn't an accident. We want to integrate different modalities, because so many of the youth who came to us had negative experiences therapeutically, and we started this about a year and a half ago. We started the Nora Jude art therapy program, and it has, first year it was operating, it served over 50 young people. This past year we doubled that for the youth who were in our shelter. This provides a weekly therapeutic service, and something that our youth have engaged in because it's not the traditional style of talk therapy. And that has been able to allow youth from that point to be able to then take the next step and engage in their own individual journey of healing. So we've looked at a variety of ways to do that, starting with art therapy. We've also brought in different pet therapy and restorative circles, so that our youth can improve their communication skills and conflict resolution skills with one another. Anybody who's worked with teens knows the value of that. But we very much appreciate the ongoing support, and I would be remiss not to mention on November 17th, it's a Monday, maybe it'll be nice and balmy like it is in October, but we will be hosting our 4th annual Light the Night event, which will be based in downtown Park Ridge, and we use that as an opportunity to bring in partners to help raise awareness about the resources they can offer youth and families, but also for us to make sure the community is aware that there are youth housing resources, and we're here, we're ready, and thanks to the young people who are in our program and who have been willing to step up into their own leadership roles as part of our Youth Advisory Board. They also help get to directly inform some of the areas that they may not have been the happiest about, or areas where they think that we can just make improvements. Trying not to ask them all of the questions all at once, but they've been incredible in being willing to speak their voices and to be part of something bigger. So thank you so much for the time to present this evening. I would love to answer any questions.
Your housing, is it built up to capacity, or what would be the percentage right now that, like how many spaces you have left, or?
So our emergency shelter has 10 beds, and of those 10 beds over the last year, we were at 88% capacity for the entire year, which is kind of unheard of in history, but we attribute this to the tremendous efforts we put into outreach to ensure that partners, police departments, schools, hospitals all know how to get to us and to get to us directly. We stay pretty steadily busy. I can't tell you right now because even in the hour that I've been here, I mean, there's an ebb and flow. And we've had a number of situations where we've had a bed free up and then very shortly after had to fill it. We're expanding our emergency bed option through a host home initiative that's launching in the next month, where we will be recruiting families from the community that we will license with a foster care license. We're able to do that. And they will be able to serve as a temporary placement and offer additional beds. So our initial goal is to add 2 host homes to pilot this year and be able to have additional options for young people closer in their home communities. So that's one piece of it. On the transitional side, we have 14 beds that are filled by young people up to the age of 23 that are working on that long-term stability. And of those, we Half of them are referred via DCFS, and it's a steady stream of referrals, and you don't really get much of a choice. But with our others, we work very closely with the youth coming into the shelter to find the right timing to integrate them into our transitional programs. If we don't have space, then we work closely with other partners that we can easily refer to.
Where the homes are, is there any like impact in any of the kids, like disruption with them getting to school if they're still trying to?
Great questions. So school is one of the highest priorities, especially when you've come to the shelter, because there's been such an immediate disruption in their daily lives. If the youth is from Cook County, we're able to institute immediately the next day, they're able to go back to school, and we negotiate transportation with their own school network. If they're out of state, it takes longer, but the goal is to minimize disruption. And one of the reasons we wanted to host homes is to be able to have options for youth across our service area, to be able to have the closest option to, closest placement to their school.
Okay, good. So they're able to still attend their
Yes,
school.
and go to work and go to extracurriculars. We try to get teenagers to plan, but we all learn together.
I also have two questions. Was the harbor originally only for homeless women, females?
Correct.
Has that expanded now to males, or is it still females?
We were unable, due to our DCFS licensing, we're unable to accommodate biological males at this time. However, we do serve young women, non-binary, and trans youth.
Okay, and the second question, paragraph 30, the Nora Jude Art Therapy Group.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about that? That was my aunt.
Yes, I recall. It was an incredibly generous request that came to us just over 2 years ago, and we were so grateful to know that there were ways that she understood the support needed for our young people. And
how was art therapy? Was that chosen because of her personality at all, or was that something that you just chose? Because she'd appreciate that. I'm sure she was really into art.
It was part of the discussion with, and something that we did, I believe we suggested it, I don't want to misrepresent it, we suggested it because it was something we were thinking about and hope that it would match. That's great to hear that.
Yeah, thank you for that choice. Let the family know that.
That's great, thank you.
Would you mind elaborating more on some of the changes you've had to make as an organization due to recent funding cuts?
A year ago, before any federal administrative changes, we lost 2 of our long-standing federal grants. These are grants that we've had multiple decades, and that these are the ones that come funded in these 3-year cycles. And in the decades that we've had them, there have been 1-year intervals where we've been off a year and then got back on. And so last year when that happened, thankfully, due to the diversity of funding that we have, we were able to keep all of our programs running. But 2 of our programs experienced lesser capacity. So our community program, where youth are referred from who are experiencing homelessness in the community, those youth, we lost 4 beds that were here in Maine Township. And then we lost 2 beds for our pregnant and parenting teen program. But we were able to continue. That was basically half of those programs. And we're pleased to report that both of those, through additional secured state funding, as well as right before the shutdown, we were informed that at least one of those 2 grants that we lost last year has been funded again. So don't know what that means yet, but that was certainly unexpected good news for us in that capacity.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Center of Concern?
Good evening. Hi, my name is Nicole Plumer. I'm the Executive Director of the Center of Concern, and it is just an absolute honor to be here on behalf of the organization. Thank you so much for your partnership over the years. Thank you for all that you do to help us as an organization. We've been in the community for nearly 5 decades now, which is an incredible accomplishment, and we are truly, truly grateful for the support of the community. The center exists to meet people where they are, essentially. We offer housing solutions, we offer community services, and we also offer older adult advocacy. We help individuals with disabilities, and we also help others in need so that they can live with dignity and independence. And of course, life happens. Things come up, there's health crisis, there might be a job loss, the death of a spouse. We are here to support and to walk alongside those individuals. In the past year, the Center of Concern has actually served over 2,400 clients, over 1,000 of them in the Maine Township area. And we've done that with over 23,000 individualized interventions. And of course, these are a lot of numbers, but the bottom line is that every number represents a person. It can be a grocery delivery, it can be a reassurance call, it can even be just helping a family that is homeless navigate resources and work with a housing counselor. So, of course, a lot of these moments might not make the news, we might not hear about them in our communities, but they are making such a huge difference in so many people's lives. A lot of this work is done by volunteers, and we're so grateful to the volunteers who are contributing over 5,000 hours in this community to make a difference, which is just astounding. And of course, they're giving of themselves. So many of our volunteers are seasoned. They have a lot of expertise in a number of different disciplines. We have tax volunteers, attorneys, and others who are looking to give back of themselves. We also partner with organizations like the Ignatian Volunteer Corps, who also have a lot of expert volunteers that come and support our services. We very much believe as an organization that strong stewardship is important. And so we work to partner with our community, with individuals, small businesses, corporations, and others, and of course, the Maine Township to provide these incredible services. A little bit about the services in and of themselves. So our housing services range from homeless prevention, we offer HUD housing counseling, rapid rehousing, transitional housing, and we're actually one of the first agencies in the country to offer home sharing, which is a very interesting process in which we pair seekers and providers together. So it's almost like we are navigating a match process essentially with those that are looking for housing. And we're very excited that one of our priorities this year is, of course, to make that home sharing program grow. We also offer the community services, as I mentioned, so that's the legal, the financial, employment counseling, income tax assistance, as well as our older adult services. And this is where we invest a significant amount of time. So this is the case management, the Medicare counseling, reassurance, caregiver support, and other offerings. I do want to mention, and listening to the other presenters, of course, we faced some funding shortages, some funding pauses. So it was in the news, I think it's some months ago, that our senior companion program, which actually operates more so in the South, was paused. But that was a larger program for us, totaling around $400,000 in grant funding that was paused. We were fortunate enough to receive this funding again to continue our operations, but it illustrated to, of course, myself and the board and our organization, just how important it is to have a wonderful community that supports us and is behind us. And of course, we were very excited to be able to start offering those services again. Looking ahead, we are actually about 3 years away from our 50th anniversary, so we're very excited. We have all sorts of wonderful projects. I mentioned a little bit about our home sharing project. We are looking to expand our older adult navigation, so we have some work groups, some exciting projects underway, and we'll be unveiling those in the coming months. And we're also really looking to continue building our culture of philanthropy in our community and looking to partner with organizations and with entities that want to really rejoice in volunteering and in community service and in togetherness. So it takes all of us. We can't do it alone. We truly appreciate everything you've done for us for over all these years, and please consider supporting us into the future, and Thank you so much.
Anybody have any questions or comments?
I'm sorry, home sharing is new to me. Can you say more about that?
Absolutely. Okay, so home sharing, essentially, we work with what we call a provider, so that is a homeowner, but maybe, for example, they might have a little bit of a crunch when it comes to taxes, or it might be, for example, someone who lost a spouse who is lonely in their home, and we pair them with someone who is looking for housing. So these pairings have been older adults together. We've had a younger adult with an older adult. So we've actually had pairings of different age groups. And our agency, essentially, we take the pain out of this pairing. So we are kind of the mediation in the process. We do the background checks. We work to make sure, obviously you don't want to pair someone who's a night owl with someone who wakes up early in the morning, but we take the headache out of that process. And honestly, we feel that this is the trajectory of affordable housing, especially for older adults. We live in community when we're young, we live with our families. Each stage of our life, we're living with other people, but then somehow we're expected to live alone when we're older adults. It's just not completely fair. So we feel that this is a great strategy to open up more affordable housing.
Do you provide any ongoing counseling mediation in case there's, any marriage, you don't clean up the dishes and you leave your socks out or whatever,
Absolutely.
I know it's not a marriage, but, living
absolutely.
together kind of comes with some needed communication.
Yes, so we do provide that ongoing support, and admittedly, not every pairing works the first time. Sometimes there is some mediation, and then the individuals are fine, and they're able to move forward. Sometimes it hasn't worked out, and we're able to resolve those situations pretty quickly. I will say we also are working to kind of create more of a base of knowledge for home sharing, since we've received so much interest from other agencies and other communities that are interested in implementing home sharing process. So it's something we've been doing a long time, but we're looking to really formalize it even more so and grow it. Thank you.
Okay, I do have one more question. With your older adult services, for example, like grocery shopping services or the light chore housekeeping, is that offered at no cost?
So both are offered at no cost. We do reach out if individuals are interested in making a donation, they can. So there is generally kind of an approach for a donation one time a year, but it is no cost.
Do they have to provide any kind of documentation or anything like that, like financial?
So as far as both programs, they're need-based essentially. So not necessarily financial information for those two programs. Other programs are a little bit, for example, our housing is more financially rooted, but our chore housekeeping is more essentially ability and age-based. So if someone needs additional support in the home, we will conduct the intake and assessment at that point.
And then you give them a fee, or is it free?
It's free of cost.
And then for those types of programs like the grocery shopping and telephone insurance and shore housekeeping, is there a long waiting list for that, or is there something where if we have, people who need those services, is that something that's offered like right away?
So a lot of those services are done by our wonderful volunteers. At the moment, we do not have a waiting list for any of those services. That being said, it ebbs and flows depending on the need, but at the moment, we do not have a waiting list. And I will say, so my background is actually in healthcare. I come from an area that did not have an agency like this. I would have loved to have this because I knew so many patients that were being released home and they just didn't have that support. So it's always exciting to be able to offer these services to support our community.
I have one quick question too.
Sure.
Adopt an older adult fundraiser. Does that mean that at one event you raise $14,000 for one event only? Or a series of events? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure.
Sounds interesting.
So the Adopt an Older Adult program is something that actually has been with the agency. I think it's been ongoing for at least 10 years, but essentially it is a beautiful poinsettia delivery season. So essentially we have our client list and we pair individuals who want to basically make a difference in brightening someone's day, and we'll deliver poinsettias to those individuals.
Okay, how does it raise funds? It says revenue, 14,000, 300.
Yeah, so it's donation based, so it is donation based. Yeah, it is a fundraiser.
I don't know, out of over 2,500 expenses, so it's a pretty good fundraiser.
Oh yeah, it's a wonderful, and honestly, it's just a beautiful time of year because our office is full of poinsettias, thanks to Pesci's, and it just smells wonderful, it looks wonderful, and then we are always looking for volunteers to help deliver the poinsettias, and it really brightens our clients' days.
That's a good idea. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments?
Question, do you guys offer rental assistance for people who are experiencing a hardship?
We do not directly offer rental assistance at this time. However, we do a lot of resource navigation. So if for some reason we do encounter a need where we might not directly be able to offer those services, we work with our network to be able to connect individuals to agencies that provide assistance.
Thank you very much. At this time, we're going to take a 10-minute break. So may we have Education, District 63 Education Foundation for Expanded Learning.
Good evening. My name is Angelica Schaub, and I serve as the Executive Director of the East Maine School District 63 Foundation. I am here tonight to speak to you about this important organization in our community. And for the next few minutes, I want to share with you why the foundation is so critical to the well-being of our youth and why your continued support and investment, as well as continued partnership, is an investment in the future of Maine Township itself. District 63 serves as a beacon of hope and stability, directly supporting essential programs at East Maine School District 63. The residents of Maine Township rely on this support, especially those facing the greatest challenges, including families new to the country, those facing housing insecurities, or simply those trying to make ends meet. Looking at foundational initiatives that the foundation helps to sustain, I want to talk about two specific things, and that's the District 63 Family Resource Center Marketplace. This isn't just a place to pick up groceries. It's a critical lifeline, functioning as a food pantry and community closet. The marketplace provides immediate, tangible resources, essential supplies for families facing financial or food insecurity, and the foundation's support ensures the lifeline remains open. Just last week, I received a phone call from one of our elementary schools, and they had 2 new students starting, kindergartners who were facing housing insecurity and did not have the financial resources for backpacks and school supplies and things. But because of our marketplace, we were able to put together 2 backpacks, brand new backpacks, with school supplies and deliver them to the school so that the students would have them when they returned. And that's the type of impact that we can do with continued support of this resource. The other is the Open Gym program, which is an initiative that provides a safe and structured space for teens. They have a place to gather at Gemini Middle School 1 evening a week and Saturday mornings. It's an invaluable outlet for teens to foster healthy habits and build trusted relationships with adults. And the most significant area of focus is the Expanded Learning Program. It's the out-of-school time initiative housed at the Family Resource Center. It is a year-round program that offers affordable and reliable childcare for school-aged youth. Participants receive a snack, dedicated time for play, essential homework assistance, and structured activities spanning social emotional learning, STEM, art, fitness, and nutrition. We use proven curricula like Ruler and Generation Genius to ensure comprehensive enrichment activities. But what truly sets this program apart and why the foundation's financial support is so critical comes down to the families we serve. We serve many of the youth that we serve in this program are overwhelmingly in need. We proudly serve a population with over 50% of the children qualifying for free or reduced lunch, reflecting the high levels of need in our community. We are also uniquely accessible, and the program is the only one of its kind in our area. It holds a license exempt status, which is key because it allows the program to accept child care subsidy payments from the state of Illinois, utilize sliding scale fees, and keep costs exceptionally low for our families. Eligibility for financial assistance is based on clear need. So students who qualify for free or reduced lunch or receive a financial waiver from the school district are those who qualify. And through this structured approach, we ensure that the foundation's assistance is targeting the families who need it most. Over the past 3 years, and many more, we've been around for over 20 years, both the expanded learning program and the marketplace have seen growth. And in numbers in youth served, in families that are engaged, and and in partnerships developed with local nonprofits and businesses. And it's a direct correlation between the foundation supporting the programs and the partners that we work with, like Maine Township supporting the foundation. Just consider over the last fiscal year, 657 youth participated in expanded learning programs, and of them, 56% were eligible for free or reduced lunch. And the District 63 marketplace provided essential resources for families 383 times. The foundation is instrumental in providing these resources and needed to ensure that basic children's needs are met. We know that when the child's basic needs are met, that's when they thrive in school and ultimately in life. So I want to also assure you that the foundation is not simply relying on your support. It is continuing to explore avenues to increase its fundraising and its profile to be able to meet the growing need that we are seeing in our communities. And so we ask for your continued partnership. Maine Township, District 63 have a long history of partnership together, and we're so very grateful for that and for that continuing into the future. And we know that together we can really make an impact on those that are most vulnerable. So in conclusion, the foundation is a proven catalyst to provide impact and change for those who need it most. It's not just an abstract cause, it's a food pantry, it's a safe place for teens to gather, and it's affordable childcare that allows parents to go to work while maintaining continuity with the school. So the students are really at home less time than they are within our boundaries and our walls. So we're all a part of the Maine Township community, and I urge you to continue supporting our essential cause, and let's invest in our future together to ensure every child has the resources they need. Thank you. Any questions?
No, but I just want to make a comment, and besides all the great work you guys do across the street, I want to thank you for always working with us, Maine Township Mainstreamers. Within 5 hours, you get us into your gym for an evening concert that got rained out. So thank you for all your help. And I know it's a lot of paperwork, but you make it happen within a few hours. So thank you for that.
I think our philosophy is, at least my personal philosophy is, if we can help, we should, and so we do.
And you definitely did, and you went way beyond.
That's great.
More than once.
Yes.
Yeah.
I second that too. You've been a great neighbor and partner in many causes with us.
Thank you.
I had the pleasure of giving a tour.
Yes, with Janet, Inspector Bishop, and Dr. Sean Schleiser, yes.
Beautiful facility.
Thank you.
It's very impressive, so. Nice.
have a question.
Yes.
Sorry. For how long someone can be under financial assistance program?
So as long as they qualify. If there is if the family has to reapply and determine eligibility annually it's October to October for the free or reduced lunch and fee waiver applications. There are also families who apply who qualify under the McKinney-Vento law where they are experiencing housing insecurity. And so therefore, they also would receive those financial assistance benefits because ultimately we want to make sure that we can have a minimal amount of disruption for the child's life while the parent is trying to figure things out.
The program include helping parents to find a job?
It doesn't. What it does include, and this is the district who do this, the school district has a parent community liaison who does meet with the families and is able to help them navigate where to maybe find a job and different ways to apply for things and help submit applications to really help that parent from that aspect.
For the marketplace, are those items that are like donated, or are those things that that the school district buys, or are they things that you get from like are people able to make donations, or are those things that are like stores donate, or how do you go about stocking that marketplace?
Yeah, so it all started when we had one central closet essentially. But we work hard with One Warm Coat. We work with the local high schools. We have a partnership with Costco. We work with Niles Family Services. And so we try, everything is donated. We also do an annual We Care campaign across the school district and community where we ask for household items. Sometimes the schools do a challenge of who can donate the most canned goods and things like that. And that's how we stock our food pantry and community closet.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm sorry, how many staff support the expanded learning after school?
Yeah, so full-time in the building, we have 4. And really 3 that are doing the expanded learning program full-time. And everybody else is part-time. So it ranges depending on ratio, but the ratio is 1 to 20 students to staff.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Turning point.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jennifer Saltz. I'm the Development Director at Turning Point Behavioral Health, and I'm here with Tina Cortez, who is our Chief Clinical Officer. On behalf of our entire team, I just want to first thank you all so much for Maine Township's longtime support, for your important work in the community, and for inviting us here to share an update on our work. Our mission is to provide expert, affordable, and compassionate mental health care. Solid support when and where it's needed most. We're headquartered in Skokie, been there for over 55 years, serving clients from throughout the Chicago metro area. And Turning Point Behavioral Health now serves over 1,100 clients a year, beginning at age 6. Approximately 50 of those clients are residents of Maine Township. 13% of our clients are children and adolescents, 32% are people of color, 60% are women and girls, and approximately 94% are low income. For our clients who experience a wide range of diagnoses, we provide outpatient therapy, an extensive groups program, case management, a residential program, and free crisis support services that have very significantly expanded over the past year. We just celebrated the 1-year anniversary of our Evanston crisis location, and of our mobile living room, Big Orange RV, which is now traveling throughout the surrounding communities, delivering free crisis support and educational resources. Many of our clients consider Turning Point Behavioral Health their second home. We pledge to them that we will guide them through difficult decisions, help ensure their rights, treat them with dignity, collaborate with them, listen to them, and be there for them with solid support. Turning Point has received both local and national awards and the highest possible ratings from CARP, the Commission on Accreditation of Rehabilitation Facilities. For all of our work, of course, the support of our funders is enormously important. Insurance and fees cover only about 40% of our expenses, and our request to Maine Township will help us to bridge that gap. So we're so grateful for your past support and for your consideration. And I'll turn it over to Tina to speak a little more specifically about our services.
Hey, thank you. Tina Cortez, the Chief Clinical Officer at Turning Point. Just to break down a little bit more of what Jen was talking about with our specific services. Our intake department offers an assessment within 24 hours, and we currently have immediate openings for our services. We serve, as she said, starting at age 6, outpatient therapy, traditional individual therapy, couples therapy, group therapy, family therapy, those kinds of services. And we see just about anybody. People can be coming in just struggling with sort of general adjustment to a life situation, or more serious struggles with mental illness, long-term things like schizophrenia and major depression and things like that, and sort of everything in between. So we serve quite a large range of services for people. We also provide adult case management services, so people that are needing assistance with entitlements, getting linked up with Social Security or Medicaid or housing or jobs, or sort of all of those things that you need to have in your life in order to really help manage your mental health. It's really hard to focus on your depression and getting better if you don't have food, things like that. So we have it all under one roof to help people get better as quickly as possible. We also have a permanent supported housing program that is funded by the state. That has, it's a 20-bed program that is actually in scattered site apartments throughout Skokie. We don't have a residential building of our own. And that is again funded by the state and did transition this year to permanent supported instead of temporary, which is what it was before. The state of Illinois made that determination to change our grant. Which is actually considerably better, because when you have a sort of a temporary program, there's nowhere for people to go when they sort of graduate out of our program, because low-income housing is very hard to come by. We have a large community support groups program, which has over 35 groups a week in person at our Skokie facility. Same thing, ranges in terms of what people are looking for. Maybe they just want some socialization and some skill building, or maybe they want some more intensive group therapy to work on anxiety and depression and everything in between. And many people come several days a week. As Jen mentioned, they think of Turning Point Behavioral Health as like a second home. And they come and they have groups and they make friends and they learn skills, and it all helps their recovery. We have several crisis programs, all of which are free to anybody who comes. Our first one is our mobile crisis program. That is available either over the phone, 24/7, you pick up the phone and you can call and get crisis services. You can come into our agency, or we can come to you. Depending on where you are, the state of Illinois specifically broke up all of its mobile crisis programs by zip code. If you have questions about that, I can share that with you. So we can't go everywhere to deploy for services, but there are places that we can go to: Niles, Northfield, Evanston, and New Trier Townships, and then part of Maine Township. So I can give you that if you'd like. And we help people just de-escalate. Our goal is always to keep people out of psychiatric hospitalization, however we can do that. We also have a living room program that is in person,
At our Skokie location, that is 24/7. And our Evanston location is 7 days a week from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. And that is an alternative to the emergency room for adults. And then finally, as Jen mentioned, we now have a mobile living room that goes around. Currently, they have scheduled times every week at the Evanston Library, the Skokie Library, Robert Crown Center in Evanston, hold on, I forgot the list, the YMCA in Evanston, both campuses of Ocean Community College, and the Niles Township Respite Center. And we continue to get calls from the community saying, when can the RV come to us? And they just kind of pull up and park, and they're there and available to people to talk about resources or to even, have a crisis session to help them feel better. So within the last year, we've spent a lot of time on increasing our outreach for the crisis programs, and we have also eliminated our waiting list for therapy services. That's it.
Anybody have any questions? Since most of the services are located more in Skokie, what kind of transportation do you provide for Maine Township residents who maybe don't have access to a car?
We don't have transportation services. However, people on Medicaid have access to various types of, and I don't know all the details, transportation services potentially. And that's one of the first things that we'll do with people. Most is 90% of our folks that come through are low income and eligible for Medicaid. We can get them on as soon as possible. We will help them apply and get them access to those services. Thank you.
Do you know which other townships contribute to get to the 159,000 total? Do you know the others?
Niles Township and Northfield Township.
Thanks.
Which parts of Maine Township are accessible to?
So our mobile, it's unfortunate that they both start with mobile. Our mobile crisis services that will deploy people out into the community 24/7. Turning Point covers Glenview, Morton Grove, Niles, and parts of Evansville. That doesn't count for you. And then the other agencies that cover some of your other zip codes include Leiden Family Services, Kennedy Young Center, and LSSI. Again, the state didn't look at it like townships for this program. For other programs, they do. And so it can be a little confusing.
I think I just interject too that mobile, just to clarify, that mobile crisis response team is the only program that is geographically limited for us.
Okay.
For everything else, we have no boundaries.
Okay, all right, thank you.
I have a question. Do you guys take walk-ins for mental health evaluation?
We do. Depending on sort of when they come in, we might not be able to accommodate them immediately, but we can link them up and schedule an appointment. So sometimes, yes, it just depends.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Maine Niles Association for Special Recreation.
Hello, good evening. My name is Tricia Brightlow, and thank you for the opportunity to speak this evening. I am the Executive Director of the Maine Niles Association of Special Recreation, better known as MNASR to a lot of people. And for those who may not be familiar with us, and I'm looking forward to explaining how Maine Township's funding directly assists individuals with disabilities in our community. Since the early 1970s, MNASR has provided recreation, social, and therapeutic programming designed specifically for children, teens, and adults with disabilities across our 7 member park district communities. MNASR's member park districts include Des Plaines, Park Ridge, Gulf Maine, Niles, Morton Grove, Lincolnwood, and Skokie Park districts. Our programs include adaptive sports, Special Olympics, day camps, cultural arts, social opportunities, inclusion services and park district programs, and more. All developed by staff with therapeutic recreation expertise so participants can build skills friendships, and independence. Manassas offers more than 80 programs and special events right here in Maine Township, covering a wide range of ages and interests. Because of the unique needs of the individuals we serve, our programs have significant staffing and transportation costs. Recreation programs for people with disabilities require very close staff to participant ratios to assist with safety, behavioral, and personal care concerns. In addition to specialized staffing, many Manassas program participants need accessible transportation in order to attend programming. Transportation access is cited as one of the most frequent barriers for individuals with disabilities. It costs Manassas about $44,000 annually just to maintain our fleet of 7 accessible vehicles, wheelchair accessible vehicles, and the cost to replace the vehicle, which we are on an every other year schedule, has increased from $85,000 to over $140,000 in the last 5 years. Excuse me, sorry. Despite the high cost of staffing and transportation, Manassas made it a priority to keep our program fees low so that all individuals wishing to access our programs have that opportunity. Even with the relatively low cost of our programming, individuals living at or below the poverty line have great need for financial assistance. Some of our most active program participants are Maine Township residents who face financial hardships and would be unable to attend programs without supplemental funding and financial assistance resources. Maine Township's grants help fill a gap between program costs and the participant's ability to pay. The need can be illustrated by sharing the stories of 3 Maine Township residents who have greatly benefited from the financial support that we've received in the past, made possible through this grant program. So first we have Petey. A young man from a single-parent household has been able to participate in Manassas Action Club, which is a service and leadership program for individuals with disabilities sponsored by the Kiwanis Club of Park Ridge. Before joining, Petey often struggled with shyness and hesitation in group settings. Through the support of the grant, he now attends meetings regularly and has found his voice among peers. His confidence has grown not only in his ability to contribute ideas, but also in his public speaking skills as he stepped up to lead parts of the meetings and events. The program has given him a sense of pride and belonging, while also preparing him for future opportunities to lead and advocate for himself and his community. Next, we have Carolyn, who is a young woman with physical disabilities and unfortunately recently faced the devastating loss of her long-term job, which she had held for many years. While adjusting to this life change has been difficult, as it would be for anybody, the grant funding from Maine Township has allowed her to continue engaging in Manassas fitness programs, adapted competitive bocce, and social activities. These programs have provided Carolyn with both physical and emotional support, helping her maintain an active lifestyle and social connections during a very challenging time. Through her involvement, she has rediscovered her strength, built new friendships, and found renewed purpose as she looks forward to the future. And then finally, Edward. Edward lives independently while managing a job that doesn't fully cover even his cost of living, but he's been able to participate with Manassas in pickleball, bowling, several Special Olympic sports, and more because of this grant support. Without the financial assistance, he would not have been able to afford the program fees. The resourceful young man thrives on activity and keeping busy. Being part of Manassas programming has given him an outlet to stay active, develop athletic skills, and connect with others who share his passion for sports. Participation has not only supported his physical well-being, but also given him a network of teammates and friends who encourage him both on and off the field, reinforcing his independence and sense of accomplishment. In closing, Manassas never wants finances to be a barrier to individuals being able to participate and benefit from our programs and services. A Maine Township grant utilized for scholarship assistance would assure our ability to offer financial aid to the Maine Township residents in need. In the last fiscal year, Manassas saw an increase of approximately 21% in unduplicated Maine Township residents served by our programs, so we were up to 354 individuals from Maine Township. And the total cost for services provided to these clients from Maine Township increased approximately 14%. Continued support to Manassas for Maine Township is crucial for individuals with disabilities, demonstrating the financial need we've discussed, especially as our service population and costs continue to grow. So on behalf of Manassas, we want to thank Maine Township for your continued commitment to individuals with disabilities in our community. The support provided through this grant funding is not just financial, it's transformational. You heard today how these dollars make it possible for individuals to develop leadership skills, maintain health, wellness, and find belonging through social connection, and pursue independence with dignity. Every investment in Manassas programs extends far beyond recreation. It builds confidence, fosters friendships, and strengthens our entire community. With your partnership, we can continue to ensure that every individual, regardless of ability or circumstance, has access to opportunities that enrich their lives and allow them to thrive. We are deeply grateful for your past support and look forward to continuing this important work together. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions or comments?
I had a question on Carol, did you say bocce? Is that bocce ball?
Yes, so we actually
How do you
offer
play that?
2 different programs of bocce. One is like your backyard typical bocce from Italy, and that's with the wooden balls. So that's more of our Special Olympics track. But then in our adapted sports track, there's a special. That's called the OCCE. This is the OCCIA. It is a smaller ball. It's made out of almost like a beanbag material. It's played on a gym floor. It was originally designed for individuals with cerebral palsy, has now evolved to people with physical disabilities, and actually several of them use ramps. And may have a ramp assistant who doesn't even see the court but moves the ramp for them. So it's a very adaptive activity.
You don't need a cement wall like on the south side.
No.
Right? That's the only time I've ever seen that played is in so. No, bocce ball.
Bocce's where you get close to the,
You have the jack ball and then the red and the blue ball.
The old-fashioned way was with cement wall. It's on the south side.
Okay.
I don't think so. But anyway, thank you for very interesting. Bocce ball. Thanks.
Thank you, Tricia. All right. Zacharias.
Hi, thank you so much. I'm Andrea Stewart. I'm the Grants and Communications Manager at the Zacharias Sexual Abuse Center.
And I am Tammy Burns. I am the Outreach and Community Education Manager from Zacharias Sexual Abuse Center. Here for moral support.
And also to update y'all on any programming. But yeah, I just wanted to thank you for your ongoing support and talk a little bit about what your partnership has done for us over the years and what we hope to do together in the coming year. So far, your partnership has ensured that survivors in Maine Township receive free trauma-informed services and that students benefit from prevention education on safety and healthy relationships. We're going to talk a little bit about just impact and local reach for Z Center. In the last fiscal year, we served over 25,000 individuals across all of our programming. That includes counseling, advocacy, and prevention education. We had more than 600 counseling and advocacy clients, 11,000 students reached through prevention education, and more than 11,000 individuals reached through community outreach and training. We also have more than 500 calls to our crisis hotline, which is available 24/7 to those who are dealing with sexual assault and abuse. In Maine Township, Z Center provided services to 16 counseling and advocacy clients for a total of 176 hours. And 1,056 community members through outreach services within the Maine Township area. And we also provided crisis services on our crisis line to one Maine Township resident. So as we all know, sexual violence is a pervasive public health issue that leaves lasting psychological and emotional scars. According to the Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network, or RAIN, every 68 seconds, someone in the United States is sexually assaulted. And every 9 minutes, that victim is a child. In Illinois, 1 in 3 girls and 1 in 6 boys under the age of 18 will experience sexual abuse or assault. However, many cases go unreported. The effects of sexual violence can be profound. Approximately 70% of rape or sexual assault victims experience moderate to severe distress, which is a larger percentage than for any other violent crime. So Z-Center is here to help survivors navigate the aftermath of sexual violence. Without early interventions and consistent, compassionate, and specialized support, survivors of sexual violence face higher risks of depression, substance abuse, eating and sleep disorders, and are more likely to suffer from the following. They are 13 times more likely to attempt suicide, 4 times more likely to develop symptoms of drug abuse, 4 times more likely to experience PTSD, and 3 times more likely to experience a major depressive episode. Z-Center's counseling, advocacy, and prevention education, or CAPE programs, provide a continuum of services, including counseling, medical and legal advocacy, and prevention education. So our counseling services are tailored to each client's unique needs. So that can include individual, group, and/or family therapy. Excuse me. Z-Center's licensed clinicians will incorporate expressive therapy, which includes play therapy, art therapy, movement therapy, and mindfulness to help clients. We have we built a mindfulness garden in our Ernie location so folks can go around and take a walk. We planted herbs so they can make tea. Really just trying to make it something that is safe and reliable for our clients, especially children. Excuse me. Mindfulness helps clients, especially children, process trauma in age-appropriate ways. Our services are survivor-centered and culturally relevant and designed to support clients of all backgrounds and lived experiences. We also offer peer-led support groups, teen activity nights, and creative healing spaces, which include open mic nights and art workshops. Our advocacy program, our advocates respond 24/7 to hospitals and offer emotional support during forensic medical exams, which is what many rape victims or survivors will undergo if they choose to go to the hospital after being sexually assaulted. Our advocates ensure survivors understand their rights. We help them navigate hospital billing and follow up to connect clients to ongoing services. Our advocates also support clients during judicial proceedings, whether they're attending court or providing consultation remotely. Survivors can also access advocacy and crisis support via our confidential text and web chat system, IZZY. So somebody can just log onto their computer, visit our website, and chat with one of our advocates at any time that they're able to do that. In addition to this, we offer prevention education. So we have specialists that will go to schools and deliver Aaron's Law approved age-appropriate workshops in schools from pre-K through college. And these are culturally responsive programs that are grounded in research and equip students with the knowledge and confidence to understand consent, personal boundaries, and how to seek help if they are being abused. These lessons incorporate inclusive digital tools and include animated characters to better engage young learners. In addition to this instruction, our preventionists will lead professional development. So we'll go to schools and talk to educators, staff, youth workers, doctors, and also law enforcement. And these trainings help us to just generally foster more survivor-centered trauma-informed responses and build safer environments for children and teens across the region and in Maine Township. Since 1983, Z-Center has been the only state-certified rape crisis center in Lake County. And we've served individuals of all ages, identities, and economic backgrounds. And in 2016, right down Dexter, we expanded into Skokie to better serve Cook County. All of our services are provided at no cost and are available in English, Spanish, and Korean. Z-Center's programs are grounded in the belief that healing is possible and that no survivor should have to face trauma alone. From children in elementary school to older adults navigating long-haul trauma, Z-Center provides individualized support at every stage of the healing process. Our mission is to mobilize the community toward ending sexual violence while amplifying the voices of survivors through trauma-informed care, advocacy, and prevention education. We maintain strong partnerships with area hospitals, school districts, law enforcement agencies, and nonprofits. And our counselors and advocates will refer clients who need help beyond the scope of our services to relevant social service agencies. And I'm just going to talk a little bit more about the impact of our services overall. As a result of Z-Center services, more than 75% of our counseling clients reported a measurable reduction in trauma-related symptoms, along with improved family communication and greater confidence in navigating safety and healing resources. 85% of caregivers and loved ones reported an increased understanding of how to support their survivors in their life, which helped them to strengthen their support systems and reduce isolation. Approximately 75% of educators and professionals trained by Z-Center reported increased awareness of trauma-informed practices and enhanced confidence in supporting survivors. Over 80% of students demonstrated increased understanding of personal safety, boundaries, and consent after completing prevention education sessions. Over the past 3 years, Z-Center, along with many other organizations, has faced various financial and operational challenges while continuing to strengthen and expand our trauma-informed services for survivors of sexual violence. Z-Center experienced a significant 49% cut in federal funding 2 years ago, and while the state of Illinois has increased its support for certified rape crisis centers, such as Z-Center, to help offset this cost, some funding sources, such as the Social Services Block Grant, have ceased their support. We depend on the continued support of generous funders like the Maine Township to continue to do our essential work. Just in conclusion, the support from Maine Township and the many others who continue to support us helps us to ensure that no survivor is turned away. All of our services remain free of charge to anybody who needs them. And your support will strengthen prevention, safety, and healing in our community. And we're really grateful for your continued partnership.
Okay. Anybody have questions or comments? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
North Suburban Legal Aid Clinic, please.
Good evening. Good evening. Thank you. My name is Greg Davenport. I am the Director of Development and Finance at the North Suburban Legal Aid Clinic. Thank you for your long-time support, continued consideration. Also, huge thanks to Ian, just a wonderful coordinator of this program, makes the site visits, makes a great partnership. For those not familiar, North Suburban Legal Aid Clinic provides free legal services in the practice areas of immigration, housing, and domestic violence. We serve clients living in all of Lake County and the northern suburbs of Cook County. Specifically, it's geography covered by 3 courthouses, the Waukegan Courthouse in Lake County, and the Skokie and Rolling Meadows Courthouse in the northern suburbs of Cook County. To be eligible for services, clients must live at or below 250% of the federal poverty level. In 2025, that equates to a household income of about $80,000 for a family of 4. That said, there are no income restrictions for clients served by domestic violence practice. As a client in crisis might not have access to any assets, we want to make sure that their safety is first. In addition to the direct legal services provided by our staff and our legal team, we also have social workers in each of the practice areas. They do not necessarily provide direct counseling, but are really helping with resource referrals, auxiliary needs, and safety plannings. Those auxiliary needs would be things such as food, shelter, and clothing. We have grown significantly since we began. So in 2015, we were launched with a shoestring budget, a part-time executive director, and we're going to accomplish our mission by all volunteer attorneys. As we flash forward to today, we are now approaching our 50th full-time employee. We have celebrated our 10th anniversary officially this spring, and we have opened more than 11,000 cases with more than 2,000 million in the past few years. Our practice areas and the core programs we offer remain the same. So for our domestic violence practice, that is providing safety or the legal tools needed for survivors to remove themselves from abusive relationships, most often looking like orders of protections. We also help with family law and matters when there is an instance of domestic violence, such as divorce or custody. For our housing practice, we help low-income tenants, and so that's helping with tenant-landlord disputes, subsidy terminations, and also mostly evictions too. For our immigration practice, we are looking at family and humanitarian-based relief, and that can look like in the form of asylum, temporary protected status. It could be a DACA renewal, it could be a change of status, anything to help someone gain safety and status in our community. In addition to our now team, I said about a full-time of 50, which is 24 licensed attorneys and social workers, we also recruit volunteers throughout the community. In 2024, we had more than 100 volunteer attorneys donate their time, in which case they often help out with, we say, mission-adjacent cases. These are services that would benefit our clients, but not necessarily a case that we can handle in-house. A program that's a great example of that right now is that we're having a number of volunteer attorneys help with short-term guardianship clinics. This is helping let's say, a mixed status immigration family, make sure that they have plans for the children in the event that one of the adults in the house was deported or detained. And so this has been something that's been really a huge need right now in our community. And so we've opened up more than 200 cases year to date just through that with volunteer attorneys. As we talk about what are some of the pressing needs right now and what's driving the needs in the community, when we look at the housing practice, the lack of affordable housing, which has been mentioned by other agencies as well, that really squeezes those that are low income and also those who are on fixed income. So you think about the elderly and disabled. In our housing practice, more than 25% of our clients will identify as disabled, which is much disproportionate to the general population, and it's for those reasons. For the domestic violence practice, for a variety of indicators, if you look at any of the statewide or national reports, the trends are not positive. It's prevalent all throughout our community, and so there's no lack of need for legal services. We also see that there's so many partners we work with. We do not do this in a vacuum. We are one of the tools needed to help them gain and rebuild safe and productive lives. And for immigration, I think we could probably have a discussion that goes on for a lot longer than the time allotted, but there's a lot of fear in the immigrant community right now. There's a lot of need for what is going to happen to me, what is going to happen to my children, and we are doing all that we can to provide the legal tools needed to make sure they can have safety and status. In addition, though, we've also had to adapt our services and meet the need in whatever form it looks like. And so actually, since last November, we've been getting tremendous amount of outreach for Know Your Rights presentations. And so we've actually conducted more than 44 of those throughout the community in partnership with townships and partnerships with school districts. We've also, that's not in addition just kind of our general outreach activities as well. Talking about partners, we thank you for being a partner, not just in the funding aspect, but the way that we connect with clients is through partners like townships, like school districts. I heard Center for Concern, District 63, they're on my list of referral partners for cases. Any given year, nearly 70% of all cases open are referred by another agency, which include in school districts, police departments, townships. That list every year has been between about 140 and 150 unique organizations. In the same way, our social workers are referring out for other services, and so that list is very similar too. So again, thank you for being that in a reciprocal way. We've talked a lot about the trends of what the cases look like. Specific to Maine Township, we gave some updates in the application. I also pulled the stats just for year to date through September 30th. Just kind of a quick summary of that. In 2024, we opened 69 cases for Maine Township residents. Through 3 quarters of 2025, we're almost on the exact same pace. We've opened 52 cases. Interestingly, the practice area had spiked the most, so we actually opened 19 cases year to date for domestic violence practice, whereas only 9 of all last year. The immigration practice actually shows a decrease in cases, but I will say some of the immigration case reporting for us is a little bit different right now because we, and I've referenced this in the application, are part of this Illinois program called the Immigrant Legal Support Program. We have 2 roles. One is this regional lead, we're helping coordinate weekly workshops, and then also one for in-house legal services. A tremendous amount of resources are going towards the workshops that we help run with our staff, but for reporting purposes, those client screenings cannot be necessarily counted into our in-house numbers, so sometimes that looks a little disproportionate, even though the number of workshops are also simultaneously. A lot of complexity, not going to make that in the application. Overall, too, I just want to say that through this, we provide these services at no cost. So that everything that we do is through several resources like this grant program. So, thank you for your long-time support. This year, we've asked for a modest increase. We understand that there are a tremendous number of needs. They all have incredible missions. We don't need to track from them. So we put a need that essentially like one more case to maybe be covered through the township. Overall, the estimate that we said is about $1,800 cost per service. In last 2024, that means we allocated more than $120,000 towards the Maine Township residents. Gave out a lot of numbers and stats, but I'll kind of conclude with just a story. So we gathered, client feedback. We asked after we close a case to send, a survey that just kind of shows us the qualitative ways. When we do reporting, it's quantitative, how many people you open to, but if they can just give us, are we giving you good services, you know your legal options better. But oftentimes these clients leave amazing quotes and notes that we can share with our attorneys too, and it kind of motivates them during what would be some very challenging times. So I'm just going to try to read this short story from the Maine Township client. A Maine Township mother came to NSIC after years of abuse from her husband. She had already obtained an emergency order of protection, but needed legal guidance to navigate the court process and ensure continued safety for herself and her young child. NSIC's domestic violence attorney worked closely with her to explain her legal options, prepare for court, and negotiate a resolution that would keep her protected and supported. The case concluded with an agreed unlawful contact or no unlawful conduct order, providing ongoing safety and financial stability as she worked toward independence. Throughout the process, NSIC's social worker linked her to child care, employment resources, and housing programs, supporting her path towards stability and self-sufficiency. Reflecting on her experience, the client shared, "I was so worried and confused before meeting my attorney, but after meeting him, I felt so happy and clear. Both the attorney and the social worker helped me a lot. My attorney took each and every matter so seriously and solved all my issues. I'm so glad I had their support. My attorney was the best, most experienced, and excellent attorney I've ever met. Thank you, North Suburban Legal Aid." So again, we cannot do that without you as a partner for both the resources, the network, and the funding. And so again, thank you for your long-time support and consideration. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? Okay, thank you. I think you anticipated them all. Thank you very much. Okay, Northwest Center Against Sexual Assault.
Good evening. My name is Nicole Meunier. I'm the new Director of Development representing the Northwest Center Against Sexual Assault, also known as Northwest CASA. We serve all of Northwest Cook County, North Shore, and McHenry County. Thank you to the Township for over 20 years of continued support to Township residents who are also survivors. With my coming on board, we're excited to deepen our relationship with Maine Township. We're looking forward to participating in your trunk or treat this month, as well as present at your community education seminar on November 4th, so you'll see our prevention ed in action. Northwest CASA works to empower individuals impacted by sexual harm and can engage communities to end sexual violence. We have two offices. Our main office is in Arlington Heights, and the care center is in McHenry proper. An important agency news, we have outgrown our Arlington Heights space, received funding from local Illinois representatives and in Denver Health to purchase a new building. Maine Township is a desired area for our new Cook County location, and we'd love to speak with anyone who is available space. To accomplish our mission, we have 4 main services. Counseling, one of our cornerstones of Northwest CASA. Client-centered, specialized counseling to sexual harm survivors and their loved ones. Clients are seen by a licensed professional to help them work through trauma-related issues. Next is medical and legal advocacy. Often our first contacts with survivors happens in local emergency rooms. Whether survivors are coming in for a wellness exam or a full forensics exam, we serve 8 local ERs in Cook County, including Lutheran General across the street, where we answered 99 hospital calls our last fiscal year. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, we will respond to community hospitals to be with the survivor within 1 hour of receiving the call. We offer emotional support, provide information, give referrals, and provide a change of clothing to allow survivors to start to regain their dignity after their clothes have been confiscated as evidence during the evidence collection kit. Prior to this, our services, survivors would find themselves leaving the hospital in one of the hospital gowns. We partner with these hospitals and have agreements to support them in the ER departments and work directly with SANE nurses if they're provided within the hospital. And depending on the situation, legal advocacy may be needed for the survivor. We have legal advocacy available for our clients to provide emotional support and information both inside and outside the courtroom and police station. As of last month, we now have an advocate who is trained to be in police investigations for support with survivors. The legal process can be long and stressful, with many cases taking years to come to any type of resolution, and unfortunately sometimes no resolution at all. Next, the 24/7 crisis line. Through sleepless nights and anxiety-filled days, we're there to answer the call. Trained staff and volunteers take calls, answer questions, and diffuse crisis situations. Someone is always there to answer the line every hour of the day and every day of the year, including holidays. The crisis line was the founding point of Northwest CASA by volunteers in 1978. and still runs strong today with over 30 volunteers assisting to keep it up and running as we hit record numbers of calls. Finally, Prevention Ed. To ensure it doesn't continue to happen, we want to educate the community on how to respond and myths surrounding sexual violence. With professional training, we offer training to community groups, police, hospital staff, and many more. Our education program is dedicated to students from preschool to college age. Age-appropriate topics are discussed, including body safety, healthy relationships, and consent. Maine Township supports and has supported Northwest CASA's sexual violence and intervention program, which includes counseling, advocacy, and the 24-hour crisis hotline, as I mentioned. We are requesting $12,000 this year for Maine Township. Our rate for delivery of service is $240.71 per client hour, and Northwest CASA served 40 Maine Township residents. Last year, we received $7,900,000 for the entire year, which unfortunately resulted in an operating at a $2,000 deficit just 6 months into the funding cycle. Another reason for this increase is the incredible difficulty we have competing with private practice salaries in this competitive hiring market. To provide top quality care, Northwest CASA has a policy that exceeds state standards, and all trauma counselors are master's levels, ensuring that all residents receiving quality and innovative services are there free of cost, as of all of our services are free of cost. However, the higher the credential and experience, the higher the cost to the agency. As we expand our services due to relocating to a larger facility within Cook County, we anticipate serving additional Maine Township residents. With the federal funding and potential state funding in jeopardy due to the current administration's priorities, we are seeking local support so our neighbors don't have to face sexual assault alone. As I shared, last year Northwest CASA served 40 Maine Township residents in the program, and were provided 217.5 service hours. The average cost to serve one Maine Township residents is $1,309. Therefore, to serve all 40 residents, the agency costs were $52,354. Some residents used only counseling services, some used only advocacy services, and many used a mixture of the services offered to get through a very difficult time in their life. In closing, all services we provide can be combined or used a la carte. Sometimes medical advocacy leads to legal advocacy, which leads to counseling. Ensuring that 24 hours a day and 7 days a week, someone is there to answer that call, which is exactly why supporters like Maine Township are so crucial to ensuring residents continue to have access to critical care. Nobody knows what the next 3.5 years will look like, but looking at past trends, when society is in a state of chaos, it's the local communities that band together to make a difference. Northwest CASA hopes Maine Township will continue to serve your residents when they need it the most. Sexual violence isn't supposed to happen, but it does, every day, to those you love and care for. We ask you to please help Northwest CASA be there for them in their most vulnerable time of need. Thank you.
Any questions?
Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you. Okay, empowering women.
Thank you, Maine Township, for giving me Empowering Women NFP another opportunity to continue to make visible impact in your community. My name is Arshia Snan, and I am the Executive Director of Empowering Women NFP. Let me start with these 3 powerful statements that form the foundation of what we do. I am safe, I am free, and I am worthy of love and respect. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. I'm truly honored to be here before you, requesting your help in giving an opportunity to survivors who can become free, safe, and respected through our workforce development programs. Empowering Women NFP is a domestic violence and gender-based violence non-for-profit organization serving Greater Chicagoland area. We are committed to supporting survivors. We offer a broad range of services: counseling, legal support, health and wellness, life skills coaching, community partnership outreach for back to school, national night out, Thanksgiving and holiday toy drives. But our flagship program is our Workforce Skills Development Program. Empowering Women NFP helps survivors rebuild their lives with dignity and strength. Our Workforce Skills Development Programs serves everyone, and all our services are trauma-informed and culturally respectful. The goal of our workforce development programs is to teach survivors the necessary skills to master sewing skills by hand and by machine, or through our digital literacy programs. These classes are free for survivors. The students master these skills, get jobs, and ultimately become financially independent. Financial weakness can be such a barrier to survivors who are trying to change their situation. We at Empowering Women NFP realize the only way forward is to teach survivors skills. Leveraging teaching skills and mastery of a craft can lead to financial independence through creating multiple income streams. This funding cycle, our budget for Maine Township workforce development programs in sewing and literacy is just over $28,000. We are asking from you $20,000. The rest of the $8,000 we are confident we can raise on our own. We are looking at community centers, religious institutions, where we can conduct our programs, as these are the spaces where we have had really good experiences. If you have any ideas on locations, that you know of any places, please do share them with us. We hire instructors from within Maine Township, and again, if you know of anyone who is certified in computer literacy and in sewings, have them call us. Thank you again for your time, your attention. Your support is invaluable. Any questions? I'm right here.
If somebody wants to find out how they can attend these programs, or like to get involved with this program, where would they find out information about this group?
Well, Maine Township is a huge source. Through your weekly letters, you let the community know that these programs are being offered. They can go to our website, they can follow us on our social media handles. We also go into local churches and local religious institutions. We put up our flyers over there. In the library, we've got flyers that are up. We reach into the alderman's offices. So again, government official offices have the community reach out to them. They can reach out to the community. So it's a great way. It's a great community program where everybody can benefit. Last year, 2024 cycle, through our workforce development programs, we graduated 112 students. So it's an exciting program, and again, thank you so much for your support.
Any other questions? Or?
I have a question about the situation with immigration for Hispanic community right now, that I believe we know what is happening. And I'd like to ask you, are you offering any legal service for the ones who have been suffered, attacked by anyone right now?
Well, we work very closely, especially in District 24, with the CPD CAPS division over there, and we have another nonprofit that we work very closely with. So yes, there are organizations that we have partnered with. Our legal support, our legal team is there to guide these survivors in any situation.
Thank you. Where do you do your computer classes?
In Maine Township, right here. It's at the Seville Center. It's I think next door to you guys. So both our programs are there.
Are these programs, I know a lot of it does say it's for people who have experienced trauma. Are they open to just people who are maybe just looking for these kind of services, or is it something where it's more based on that you've had, something happen and you were in need?
So specifically, the programs are designed for survivors of gender-based violence, but we do keep a few seats open for the general public so that they can benefit from these programs. But they have to be, they have to be eligible for it.
Okay.
Somebody joked.
I'm a volunteer.
Yes.
If I may add to that statement, it is open for survivors of trauma of various kinds. However, it's a self-selecting mechanism. it's impossible to actually ask someone.
Sure.
So just so people are.
That's helpful, because for us too here, sometimes it's thinking when we encounter people here who come into town hall for services, it's helpful for us to know, like, okay, who's eligible, who can go, because then we know who to refer to your agencies to, so.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
No, and the other thing is that it's a safe place. So a lot of times when people do come in, they become friends with one another. They learn more about our services, and that's when they start to open up. So it's a great opportunity, again, to feel safe, to be with people who are like-minded, or with people who can become friends with long-term, right? So, thank you again.
Thank you very much. Do you take walk-ins?
I'm sorry?
Do you take walk-ins?
If there is space available specifically for our classes, yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our process of elimination, I think it's you.
Well, stick around.
Sure, please feel free. Thank you very much for having us. My name is Andrew Dohan. I'm the Director of Marketing, Grants, and IT at Kids Above All. We are a first-time applicant, so we're very excited to be here. And I'll get into our impact and our presence in Maine Township. But for some background about Kids Above All, and in fact, next Monday, we will be celebrating our 131st anniversary as an organization. We started as an orphanage in Lake Bluff, Illinois, to shelter, educate, and care for immigrants, immigrant children in the city of Chicago. Since that time, our mission and our organization has grown to serve, in total, about 161,000 children and families over the course of those almost 31 years now. Last year, we served 4,161 children and families in Cook, DuPage, Kane, and Lake counties. And we do this through early childhood education, safe supportive housing, and counseling programs. Our early childhood education program last year, 993 children ages 0 to 5 were provided with the resources to be on track to enter kindergarten ready to learn, which is huge, right? And these folks, these families, are qualified for our programs living at least 150% below poverty line. So our programs are in the home, which is crucial because it allows our staff to assess the safety of the home, make sure that these children are living in a safe home, and provide any additional community resources that families may need. Our programs help to ensure that the children are developmentally on track to get to kindergarten. They focus on reaching developmental milestones, and in the later years, 3, 4, 5, focusing on math, science, reading skills. Our next kind of pillar of impact, we like to call it, is our housing programs. Our housing programs, we have been, started as an orphanage, and we've continued that work in child welfare. We have our foster care programs and adoption programs, and then we have so obviously those programs serve youth from newborns all the way to 18 when they legally become adult. We have a youth housing program in the city of Chicago, as well as Lake County, that serves homeless youth. And in that program, it's called the Emerge program, we, for a period of 18 to 24 months, these youth live in an apartment of their own, many of them for the first time. And they receive supportive services, trauma-informed counseling, education, employment, and benefit resourcing to make sure that they are connected with healthcare, open a bank account, making sure that they have the resources, the skills that they learn, time time management, financial literacy, making sure that when they leave our program, they are self-sufficient adults. And then our final suite of programs is our trauma-informed counseling. This has been the biggest area of growth over the... Sorry? So this is the biggest area of growth, our trauma-informed counseling.
Child what?
Trauma-informed counseling, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I feel like I don't know.
Thank you.
So anyway, I'm sorry. So trauma-informed counseling. So last year, about 524 youth benefited from our counseling programs. These are youth who have experienced abuse, neglect, violence, and we provide them with services that are counseling services that are tailored to them. And our clinicians are master's level licensed clinicians, and they work on a weekly basis with our clients, and whether that's in person or virtually, to accommodate schedules and comfort levels to help them make progress on personal growth, work through their trauma, and potentially heal. We have another part of that, our kind of series of programs in counseling is our Camp Sheila program. Camp Sheila is a very special program. It works with youth who have lost a parent or sibling to homicide. And it is the main feature of the program is a 3-day bereavement camp for youth who meet at an undisclosed location to the public to have, number one, fun, number two, therapeutic experiences that are experiential, and so it's less traditional talk therapy and more challenging our youth and these campers with experiences like rope climbing, ropes courses, rock climbing, to help them build resiliency and build their self-confidence, and then there are group therapy sessions as well. So those are kind of our 3, early childhood, safe supportive housing, and trauma-informed counseling, are 3 kind of pillars of impact. What brings us to Maine Township is kind of our 4th and most, to me, I'm in development, most exciting portion of what we do in our mission is our Better Life Distribution Center, which is located in Des Plaines. It's on Oakton, and we opened this in 2023. Kids Above All has been sustained by our faith, community, and corporate partners for almost 131 years. And what that means is we receive in-kind donations as well as financial support. We got to a certain point, ironically enough, in COVID, where we needed to, we had so many items being diapers, pajamas, school supplies, therapy supplies, toys, that we needed a space. And we were fortunate enough to be able to find a space on Oakton and Des Plaines. And it's been a game changer for the organization. Being able to provide those essential supplies and items to our clients, but also local Maine Township residents, which we were, when we started to think about where we could, have this distribution center, it was interesting because we were talking about, well, what about, we landed on Des Plaines, and it was, okay, I wonder what the walk-in traffic's gonna be. And so we hold 3 drives a year. We have a healthy baby drive in the spring, we have a back-to-school drive, and we have a holiday gift drive, which is right around the corner. And it's heartening, but also it was heartening for Kids Above All to be able to support local residents who walk into our center, or call us, or email us, or see us on Univision or Fox 32 or something, and say, look, I saw you guys, can you help me? help provide some toys for my kids around Christmas, and we're happy to do so. And last year we helped about 600 Maine Township residents. We have partnerships with District 62 and 63, as well as the local food pantry, as well as, like I said, those walk-ins that come up to us on our street. So throughout the years, and we're lucky to be able to do that for Maine Township. And we really appreciate you hearing us and your consideration. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Anybody have any questions? Distribution center is open to anybody? Like, it's open during the day, anybody could just walk in?
It is. I mean, we have 2 full-time staffers there. And so people can walk in. It is also a volunteer center as well. And so we may have volunteers, packing backpacks or assembling kits for not only our clients, but local residents. Yes, they can walk in and if we are able to help, we will.
Okay. To the meeting, sorry. Go ahead, there you go.
Of the 600 residents approximately that were served, what are the majority of them, what services are the majority of them taking advantage of? Is it the Light Distribution Center or some of the other services you referenced?
No, it's direct support from the distribution center. So that was diapers, school supplies, toys for Christmas, and that sort of stuff.
And birthdays too.
Correct, yes, birthdays too.
So I have a question about housing. Let's say that I have a family of 2 parents, 3 kids, and they really need housing. Can I refer them to you?
So both of our service areas, Chicago and Lake County, our clients come in through the coordinated entry system of those localities. So unfortunately, we could refer them to what's called the continuum of care for them to fill out paperwork and get into the system, but a direct referral, no, I'm sorry.
So how long the process can be with the other agency?
I believe it's just filling out paperwork, and then the COC, they have their sort of case managers that refer based on the specific needs of the clients. So I don't know if I have a specific time frame for you, so I apologize, but we've had clients come to us very quickly, within weeks, which so in a house family, that's an eternity. But as I said, we mainly work with youth, and so we've been able to receive clients relatively quickly.
Does that mean that you help them completing the application?
We cannot. That is a COC rule.
So for the, I just want to make sure I'm reading this right. Sure. So for the childhood education and supportive housing and the counseling, is that for Maine Township residents? Is that where our residents are going? Or is it more just for the distribution center?
So we are, mainly it's the distribution center. However, Kids of a Ball is undertaking a kind of expansion in our counseling program to kind of break free from the shackles of just those kind of localities that we work in. Knowing that there is great need, however, as we've heard, many great providers out in the community as well. But the majority is, as I said, housing is specific to Lake County and Chicago. Our early childhood is in Kane, Lake, and the city of Chicago. And then counseling, we do have, I believe it was 15 or 16 Maine Township clients in counseling.
Okay, I just want to make full disclosure. The Vice President of Programs and CQI is named Kimberly Jones. It is not me. It's like a different Kimberly Jones, so I have no involvement. Just,
How do you have time?
Thank you very much, and Ian, thank you very much for your help as well.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, that concludes our agencies. So now Ian would like to
inform us on the process going forward.
Well, thank you. I'd just like to very quickly go over the process from here on out for anyone who's new to this or as a refresher. So after this, I will have a meeting with the department heads, and we'll discuss our recommended numbers. I'll compile those all into a spreadsheet and prepare that for the November board meeting, which then the board can take a look at it in November. After the meeting, all the board members can send me your numbers, and I'll compile that into a complete spreadsheet of everyone's recommendations, and then submit that to the December board meeting, where it will be approved most likely, and then after the December meeting, the contracts will go out in January.
So, first date, you're going to provide us with the compiled numbers of
Department heads and
department heads, and that date is again?
For the November board meeting.
November.
Yeah, I'll have that ready for you.
And then the board, then elected officials, we have to have ours in by December, right?
Yeah, I'll send you a date for that, a specific date that I want, but maybe 2 weeks after the November board meeting.
Around the 10th or something.
Yeah, somewhere around there would be fine, just so I get them in time for, to have the spreadsheet ready to go for the December board meeting.
Right. Our numbers between the numbers.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. And then one quick question about how we want to finalize the numbers in terms of rounding or anything. We've done it kind of differently, a few different ways over the years. Last year we did it rounding up to the next $100. We didn't want to go down for anyone's average, so we just rounded it up to the next 100. Do you want to continue with that, or do any other way like we've done in the past, rounding to the nearest, rounding to the nearest 500, or doing the exact, whatever the exact number is of the average that comes out?
I thought last year well, I guess I'm looking at last year's and I see we have the overall average, and then it says the recommendation, and then it says the grant. And some of the grants are less than the recommendation, some of them are more. I'm a little confused as to how they were.
Oh, that.
Because I know at one point we looked at it and then we sort of said,
that's
why,
right.
and so I don't know.
We changed it at the December board meeting.
Right.
So let me see which one this is.
Because I thought the recommendation was, I guess I'm.
Oh yeah, so the original recommendation was the way we had it discussed at the department head meeting last time to round it was to the nearest 500 for any grants less than $10,000, and the nearest 1,000 for anything over $10,000. But then that was changed at the December board meeting to be rounded to the nearest 100. So that's what you see in the final. So the original recommendation was the rounding to 500s, and then the final was rounding to the nearest 100. We changed that after the December meeting. So do we want to just stick with that again, the rounding to the nearest 100, or the next 100 up?
I mean, as long as we're going up and not down. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Okay, we'll just do the same thing we did last year then, if everyone's okay with that.
It worked pretty well, I think.
Okay, yeah, great. All right, thank you.
Is there anything else? Because we can have a motion to adjourn. Get a motion? We need a motion to adjourn? Yes.
Motion to adjourn.
Second, okay. Do we need a roll call, or do we? Yes. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Supervisor Jones? Yes. Trustee Norbeck? Yes. Thank you. Trustee Meyer?